Hi everyone, my name is Asher. I use he, him, or they, them pronouns, and today I want to talk about my experience of being trafficked as somebody born queer and transgender, FTM, non-binary. I want to talk about these parts of myself because they highlight a critical intersection between my identity and my current status as a victim of human trafficking. In short, gender dysphoria describes a condition wherein an individual's assigned gender, or natal gender, is incongruent with their lived experience or expression. I'm not going to break down the difference between sex and gender, but I will take a second to break down the linguistic significance of the term gender dysphoria. So, the word dysphoria comes from Greek and translates to difficult to bear. For example, two other conditions, including the word dysphoria, come to my mind. One is premenstrual dysphoric disorder, a hormonal mood disorder marked by severe pain and mood instability in the days leading up to a menstrual cycle. There is also rejection-sensitive dysphoria, an important component of conditions like ADHD and autism. So gender dysphoria stems from an assigned gender which is inappropriate for an individual and therefore difficult to bear. So why is this relevant to my experience as a victim of sex trafficking? By the time I was born, I understood that there were boys and girls in the world, and it prompted me to ask myself, what does that make me? I never felt like a girl. I always related more to men and boys. And by the time I could talk, I vocalized symptoms of gender dysphoria. I didn't know what it was called at the time. All I knew was that I felt terrible pain, hence difficult to bear. And I knew this pain went beyond living under a cultural shadow of misogyny as a woman. I knew that it was more than just living under misogyny, it was living as somebody who was not me. So, not only were my handlers, or are my handlers, bigoted and abusive, they are extremely selfish and greedy. Any mention of my attraction to women as a child was met with disgust and discouragement, despite the fact that I had been sold to men and women alike. My handlers believed I was more profitable as a straight girl, so they punished any mention of my trans identity or my feelings of bisexuality. Moreover, my handlers forced me through conversion therapy, which is torture for any LGBTQ person, and it significantly compounded my suffering as a child sex slave. Being commodified for a body and an identity that I felt were not truly mine was agony. It was agony. So, my conversion therapy included things like corrective rape from adult men and being forcibly drugged with feminizing hormones at age 7. I was forced to take feminizing hormones for no reason other than the sexual gratification of my handlers and their monetary gain. My handlers often forced estrogen pills into my mouth while I was unconscious, usually drugged with something like alcohol or GHB at the time. They mixed them into my food or drink, or placed me under duress of some type to coerce me into taking them, threatening to kill me, threatening to, take away a body part, cut off one of my arms. And I was verbally abused by my handlers for expressing my identity as a young child. The phrase that I heard while I was being drugged with hormones from my handlers a lot was, "We're doing this because you won't shut up about wanting to be a boy. It's crazy, and you're crazy." I despised how the pills made me feel. Like I said, I was drugged with GHB and other substances throughout my childhood, which dulled my mind. Still, my reaction to conversion therapy, corrective rape, and forced hormonal feminization was severe. I was confused in a world of dissociated agony that I have not known before or since. I became openly suicidal. Um, I leapt out of moving cars, sometimes very fast moving cars. Um, I attempted to stab myself with pens or knives. I attempted to hang myself on anything I could reach, really. I went from being a pretty safe and responsible child who could be trusted to do things like help, chop things in the kitchen and, handle chemicals, to somebody that could not be left alone with anything dangerous because I was so ready for whatever was happening to me to be over, even if that meant dying. I was 7. My suicidal gestures were the only reason my handlers stopped forcing me to take hormones, only because my death would have made them look bad. So today I am just over 5 years on hormone replacement therapy, and I am approaching 4 years post-op surgery. Transitioning has been a powerful and enlightening journey for me. I am grateful for the gifts and the challenges with which it came. I am happier in my body and in my identity now than ever. Being on the masculine side of androgyny gives me joy. What else can I say? My handlers still have some control over my life, and I am not free of their abuse, bigotry, and transphobia. Throughout my transition, I have been dead-named, misgendered, or otherwise discriminated against by people from all walks of life, all types of environments, including from my handlers. I have been called delusional and deceitful by my handlers because of my transition. Kelly, in particular, has accused me of faking my transition to get out of trouble. They have also accused me of mutilating myself through hormones and top surgery. I find such comments particularly ironic, considering the physical, emotional, and mental injuries my handlers have inflicted upon me throughout my life. My handlers have also stalked, threatened, and harassed me at multiple job locations since I turned 18. Most recently, throughout the summer of 2024, they came to my place of work and threatened to turn me back into a girl. They threatened to take away my hormones, most likely as part of a plan to get me pregnant via incestuous rape. It wouldn't be the first time they've tried to do that, so I assume that was, what they thought was going to happen. I'm not sure what my plan was for my chest, though. Maybe paper mache and hot glue? In any case, I am at peace with my sexuality, and I am happy and whole living as a trans person in a body that finally feels like home. If you have people in your life who are bigoted or abusive towards you because of who you are, if you are a survivor of human trafficking, child abuse, domestic abuse, drug abuse, torture, or violence, remember that there will always be things that can never be taken from you so long as you live. You may have to survive horrific circumstances. You may have to overcome profound despair. And you may have to cope with terrible pain. You may have to fight seemingly impossible battles and fail over and over again to secure freedom and peace for yourself. And you may never be the same as you once were before the trauma. But there is hope in every breath that you take. I promise. In the wise words of a friend who has since passed, may she rest in peace, live and be brave. Thank you for watching, and as always, liberation, rehabilitation, and restitution for every single one of Brian and Kelly's enslaved human experiments. Remember our names: Free Asher, Free Lindsay, and Free Shay. Hail Satan, everybody, and good night.